Okay. We got it working. Good lord. This game makes my head hurt sometimes. And when I say sometimes, I mean a lot. I need my world building tunes. Okay. Stay the fuck out of this AEF folder, apparently. See, it'd be cool to have something like that, but it looks like I'm going to break the game. Particularly, how you doing, buddy? Okay, so here is the dilemma and the possible solution. All this is experimental. So, I'm just gonna do this, make sure I'm not talking to myself. You here, buddy? Okay, you are. Okay, thank you. So I have a retreat path conundrum. This map has been extremely promising, but for one design challenge that I still have yet to solve. And it is that this player in the north can grab this point here in blue or this point here in purple. The problem currently is that if a player, let's go worst case, right? Worst case, you're in here. You decap this point and you need to make a hasty retreat because you're right next to the opponent's base. You retreat to the center of your base, which is how the game calculates the retreat path, okay? That means you're running the gauntlet essentially through the middle of the map. That's completely undesirable. A better retreat path would be around these barrels here. So I've actually created an opening specifically for units to be able to get through there to accommodate retreat paths. But that means I would need to move the base to the left, to this point here. Which is okay, except for that the base on the right, the cutoff point on the right here, will have a similar problem, running the gauntlet. Ideally, this right point would run around like this, around the right. And ideally, this base would run around the outside, like the left, as you can see here. So, a solution I proposed, though I didn't figure out how to do it until today with the help of Ricky Rifle, showing me that this object does what I need it to do, is that what if you had a base like this and you actually had this as a retreat option. This is still a retreat point. But also this is a retreat point, and this is a retreat point. And I, as the world builder, would put some kind of an object in here to indicate this new retreat possibility. Is having these three retreat points worse, better, or equal to having this garbage retreat path through the center? And this could solve problems on a whole bunch of different maps, not just this map. Particularly, you're here, so I'm curious what you think about that approach to trying to solve garbage retreat paths, because garbage retreat paths can totally, obviously, completely change games in a negative way, and I'd like to work around that. This is one of my proposed solutions. Because normally when you retreat, you retreat to a single point, so you have a lot of healing there, right? You've got your healing truck, it heals stuff. If you do this, it's not entirely outside of Company Heroes 2, because if you're an American and you make an alternate retreat path, you still have to send guys around to be healed, right? Players have been dealing with having a heal point and having to kind of manually come back to base and move units and then go back on the field. But this would cause these 2 points being retreat paths. Like if your truck is here, these guys are not going to necessarily run to that point where your healing spot's going to be. But I think the benefits of a better retreat path is better than having a single point. I'm just thinking about mostly healing. Honestly, reinforcing shouldn't be that big a deal, but the healing. Yeah, you dig it? Okay, looks like you're digging it. Okay. I need to make... See, and what I did was, the reason I started the cast up earlier and then closed is because I went in here and put... There's some cool, like, sort of observation post looking buildings in here. The problem is, with Company of Heroes 2 World Builder, there are an enormous amount of objects in here. Not enormous, but there are a considerable number of objects in here that if you place them on the map and then save the map and then close the map and try to reopen it, you'll never be able to open those SGB files again because that object crashes the World Builder. Now, an obvious question is, why is that still in the World Builder? And the answer is Relic has not gone through and done an audit of objects that crash their World Builder. So those things have been left in there from not only Co 2 but Co 1 as well. So I had to go back, reload the SGA from the workshop. Thank God I had one that was close to this version, and then convert it back to SGBs and then reload it into the World Builder. So now we're here. So are those objects not in any maps then? Just completely wasted unused assets? Yeah, that's right, BritBoy. So this Ricky Rifle I posted a video asking the World Builder guys in the Discord, hey, does anyone know of an object that is just really easy to use that I can drop into the World Builder and gives me an additional retreat point? And Ricky Rifle pointed out there is. So these additional retreat points aren't used anywhere, and I feel like they would be a big asset on a lot of maps to fix a lot of the bad retreat paths that we have to begin with. Now, I'm not 100% certain this is going to work the way we want it to, as in maybe these good retreat paths aren't outweighed by like having to come back to base and re-micro stuff to get healed. I don't know the answer to that, but I think this is a design set worth pursuing. So I'm going to use this map as a sort of a test bed. Now, I know currently that if I use, so let's do this again. If I use my measuring tool, my retreat path, if I retreat here, okay, this is good. So I have one good retreat path. Let's try it on the other bad retreat path from here to here. Also good, going around the outside. Checking the, let's do the north to south here to here. Also good. The only one that I have a problem with right now, and this is my problem, not a World Builder problem, is this point from here to here goes through there. That means I just have some asymmetry going on, just a very small amount. Particularly is the map size. The map size, the actual map size for this guy is... up top here, you can see the map size. So the terrain width is 512, 512, and the playable is 320, 320. That's a little misleading because... the playable area is technically this red, but that has also been shrunken considerably, so you're actually looking at probably something closer to... let's go here. Probably something more like... what did I say it was again? Probably something like under 300. And then the area in the center is something like 64. I mean, shit, the center area is only about 120 meters. Expert, how we doing, man? This is tight, but I think it's gonna be, this is gonna be very, very interesting design. And so, but the crux of this design at this point, after doing the testing that I've done, watching that best of 5 with Brosras and Von Ivan going head to head, which was a fantastic opening event for this. The games I saw were outstanding, but not just the games, but the way that they were using the map in an initial sense was really good. Like, players were coming down, jumping into the building from one end, okay, and then jumping out the other end through this hedgerow. This is actually designed to be used as a throughway through the hedges. That's a new feature that nobody's ever seen on maps before. And also this roundabout. I've seen some maps have kind of a roundabout. Right, so we've got this roundabout here. You can see it better here. Goes around the map. This roundabout system, I think I've seen like one in Company of Heroes 1 way back, but it never went anywhere. And I've been thinking about this layout for a long time, and I finally was like, you know what, it's time to try to make it and see what we can get. So this is what we've come up with. But again, the retreat, because of the nature of the size of the map and the way this is wedged in a wide arc, not an arc, but it's wide. Bad retreat paths are all over the place, and that can be very easily solved by just adding these points. So that's what that's the world I'm living in right now. Trying to figure this out, because if I can just use these clever little objects here, I mean, good lord, that would save a lot of problems. 10, 25. I just, because this is so experimental, I need to be careful at how I do it, and so that players can work around it and understand what's happening. That is a lot of base MGs. One of the reasons there are so many is because this base sector is really wide open, and the bases are really close to each other relative to other maps. And I've already seen aggressive base rushes because of the proximity. So giving players an additional machine gun, I think, is only fair, to be honest. And actually, I was going to add some more back here. I'll worry about that later. But so yeah. But when you retreat to beacon, you won't be healed. Right. That's exactly right. Particularly. So this is the catch-22 I find myself in. So let's pretend this bag right here, or this hay right here, is your normal, right? That's where you park your truck. So when you're in the center of the map, right, most places in the center, let's just prove this here, you're going to be retreating to your home base, okay? Almost all the time. But when you get to these weird spots way in the back, you might actually be retreating, right? I don't know. I can't put two measurements up at once, so it's hard to tell which one it's going to take. But if you retreat to this point or this point and not your home base, your truck won't reach these other points. That's the downside of this system. Sometimes you won't retreat to your main base, but you'll get good retreat paths. And good retreat paths are worth their weight in gold, as competitive guys know. What's going on, Ross? Yeah, I don't know what the range is on an elephant, but if you were here to here, that's over 130 or 120 meters. I don't think quite as that range, but players also know that elephants are very weak in 1v1. Almost nobody goes them. So if this map gives them some kind of an advantage that makes them even worth bothering with, I'm okay with that. Okay, what we need to come up with here is some kind of an object that indicates where these are going to retreat to. The first obvious thing to do is some kind of a splat that lets players know, hey, this is a retreat point. You know, we'll do an object above and below ground here. It's a little dark. And let's clear all this other garbage out of here. Well, actually, we'll put that there. Get rid of the grass. Because part of this is like the players that are interfacing with this need to know what's going on. What's going on, Crescent? Need to buff the elephant? Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know. There's been a lot of talk now that the Siphon X's data is out and public. A lot of debate going on about what they should or shouldn't do for the next patch. I have my own thoughts, but I don't know. I didn't want to get into forum battles with people because people feel very strongly about what, you know, works and what doesn't sometimes, and I don't want to waste my time trying to type out an essay to someone who just, I don't know, most people are open about stuff, but you gotta be careful getting buried in that conversation. Elephants are incredible in anything greater than 2/2 because they can't be flanked if they're buff 1 on their room 4. Yeah, it's like, that's another thing, like trying to, some people complain that balancing the game just for ones is the wrong way to, like, you should think about all the other modes, and honestly, you can't. So if I sat down the best players in the world, like 10 of them, and told them perfectly balance this for 1v1, okay? And we've been trying to do this for 10 years for Co, almost 10 for Co 2. You can't do it, right? Not the way they've tried. We've gotten good, but we've never gotten like StarCraft good, okay? So if that can't be done with just 2 factions on the field, how in the hell does anyone expect to balance this for 2v2 where you can mix factions? That alone makes it impossible, essentially. And it just gets worse as you increase player base. So if there's like a specific thing you can fix without affecting ones, but improves 2s, 3s, and 4s, you should do that. But the idea of balancing the game for a large player base, it's not just it's worse than bad. It's ineffective. You can't do that. It's not, like, mathematically, you cannot do that. We can't even do it for ones. So, you know, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. That's not a thing mathematically. I don't know. And the elephant is incredibly strong, so you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. Nice if we had a square. Oh, I know what we can use. Actually. Of course, I don't know where it is. Z pink. What the world is this? Oh, crap. Here we go. Actually, these are some good looking splats. We should use some of these. This isn't the object I was looking for. I'm on a tangent right now. It's the mortar. Trench, maybe that's... No. Basically a squared off piece. Is this flat map? Pretty certainly it's flat. Has to be. If you can't make a competitive map with hills, unfortunately. I wish you could. Everything about Company Heroes should work with elevations, but it's so broken. I don't know. It doesn't 100% apply to Co. You're talking Alsace, Ross. You're talking you're talking Co 1. Yeah. Yeah, critically, this is entirely flat. Alliance of Defiance. You mean the older stuff. And see, the idea is this map is, if you know your World War II history, the Ploesti oil fields were like a super important part for a super important location for the Axis. So this map assumes, your roads coming in, and the roads come into the outskirts of the oil fields, and then there's the refineries in the distance. Like, it looks really cool. Thematically, I'm very happy with this map. You know, you've got the big oil tankers over here, and it looks really cool. But we're not working on thematics, we're working on technical stuff, so... so many objects. But it would be really, really good for this, for what I'm trying to illustrate to the player here. Put an iron hatch in the middle of the middle of the farmlands. I know what this looks like. It's a British trench splat that goes underneath it. Jesus Christ. Ah, I know exactly what it looks like. I just... I'm never gonna find it in here. Good night, Particularly. Thank you for taking a look at this, man. I appreciate the help. And sorry, you know, about the other offer there, but maybe one day we'll get back into it. Have a good night. And Merry Christmas. If I don't talk to you till then. Ah, shit. Open up Crossroads and take a look. Alright, let's do a test before we go further and see if this thing shits the bed. Cross your fingers. Thank God. Okay, we're still good. It's not in the tank folder either. This is what I'm talking about. Like, stuff is so fucking scattered all over hell in this game. A wooden bunker would be terrible. Johnny Cab, how you doing, brother? Yeah, this is where you live. It's very homely. Maybe I could put like a flag down. They've got goddamn flags in here somewhere. Although this would be nice because this is indestructible. Right? We could put a little building. The building will be destroyed. Maybe we put a flag on it to indicate retreatability and then just throw some good players into the slaughter here. Something like that would be kind of nice, wouldn't it? Sure this works thematically. No allied markings on it. No, that's just a generic truck looking thing. Okay, so we can build our own. Let's do that. We're gonna build our own. Let's make it look kind of cool. Crescent, what do you make of the Crossroad winter feedback? Will you change the way the cutoffs are placed? What feedback are we talking about? I've heard some feedback, specifically, some people think they're, brutal, I guess would be the word. But even the people who have been giving me that feedback have said they still like that. Have we been getting some stuff in where people are like, this is impossible, or this, can't work, or anything like that? Or do you have a link to like some specific feedback? I'd love to see it, if people have something like that they can zone in on. Not a specific one that comes to mind. Okay, I guess I'm not sure what we're talking about if there's nothing specific. Sorry, yeah. Unless we see something that would warrant, if we see something that warrants the change, we of course, like I'm not married to any of these design choices that I'm making here. Everything is always on the table to make sure that the map works as well as it is possible. It's fine. I guess I can give my personal thought though. Yeah, absolutely. No, if you've got something on your own, it's funny. Like a lot of times people are like, "Man, I'm just not good enough to give feedback," and it's like, well, on some level that's true, right? Because you want informed feedback. You don't want someone who just has no clue what they're doing give feedback. But on the other hand, I've had players who aren't pros, right? And most of your feedback is that type, which is fine. But I've had most people give that feedback, and even the feedback that when they're giving it, if it's not like precise and it's not what you want to hear for feedback, you can still glean information from the feedback, even if it's not professional, even if it's not, Love Nest handing me, something that's very precise. That's fine. Like all feedback is welcome for sure. And again, I'm not married to any of the design decisions we're making here. The goal is to make the best competitive map possible. Everything else is, if you're doing anything else in your map design, if you're doing competitive, you're wasting your time. If you're attached to a design feature or design philosophy, you're in trouble. Maybe not philosophy, but features certainly. Is this good? Fuck, I don't know. Oh, interesting. That doesn't have an impasse. That's a little weird. It'd be nice if we could just have a... Well, I don't pretend to know. It's just my sentiment. Personally, I feel the cutoffs on winter are overly extensive. Overly extensive? You mean, like, too aggressive? Is that what you mean? Like, it should be harder to cut off your opponent. Gotcha. That may be the case, honestly. One good thing that I'm excited about is there is a tournament coming up. The co2.org, or not the co2.org, the co2.org Discord is putting on a tournament, and that has Crossroads Winter in it. And actually, they're also putting Plo SD Outskirts in it. So that'll be a good opportunity to get a lot of replays, and get a lot of sort of feedback. You know what? Let's jump into the Crossroads Winter because I want to show you a couple things on there that might help you out. So, Crossroads Winter. This point here is the one we're talking about. Also this point, obviously, if you're in the north. So, there were a bunch of specific changes because of the location of the cutoffs that were put in to make it more reasonable for the defender to be able to handle that. This is when the map released. I haven't done this since. So this point right here, which is from Crossroads Original, right, you have a green cover wall here with yellow cover for the defender. This allows the southern player to get aggressive and push into the north. Now down here, your fuel is here with the cutoff adjacent. Obviously this wall helps some, but importantly this point right here, you've got the same thing going on here as here. So you've got green cover for the defender, or like really strong green cover, and then yellow for whoever's coming into offend. So, excuse me, protecting the fuel itself should be pretty darn easy if you can get to that cutoff point. Get to the green cover rather. Maybe I need to do something similar for the cutoff. Maybe something like right here. A piece of green cover that's specifically for the defender. Likewise, this is mirrored, of course, so the north guy has that. There's yellow cover blobs, there's yellow cover blobs, so it's like, maybe that's something we need to consider. And that's why it's good that there's a tournament coming up with this map in it, because I'll be able review those replays and get some good data out of it. So we'll take a look at that. It doesn't matter. And what if the cutoffs were just a bit closer to one of either bases? So you mean like this capping sector nudged south of Scooch? At first glance, I would say no, but as you know, like I said earlier, I'm open to anything. I think if I was going to try to make this area more reasonable, if we found it was like a problem, the first thing I would do is do what I've done over here, which is give the defender a cover advantage, like right off the bat. So if they get cut off and they're coming back onto the map, they can just post up and totally drive whatever's here out. Yeah, that's exactly right, Ross. So the cutoffs need to be accessible. I'll give you an example too. So on Ploesti, if I'm in the north and I'm heading south and I want to get to this cutoff, but there's a lot of crap either to the right or the left, I can't get around to the right and the left. What I've given the option for the player, and this is unique to this map, you'll come up here. You can actually enter the house here or on the right. There's two entrances here. And then you can actually exit through the hedgerow and come back here and grab the cutoff. That is obviously rotationally symmetric for the northern player. But I grew up on Company of Heroes 1, and Company of Heroes 1 foundationally is much, not just stronger, it's much stronger in a lot of different ways. And one of those ways is that cutoffs were a big deal, and it gave players, it wasn't just I need resources, and then later I need VPs, and that's the whole game. If you introduce aggressive cutoffs onto a map, you've tripled the amount of objectives in the early game. And the early game has everything to do with the mid and late game. Instead of the early game, because VPs don't count that much in the early game is all about resources. And then as the game progresses, you only care about VPs. Like, you need resources, but the VPs are much more important. If cutoffs are a thing, now suddenly resources are important, but because they can be cut off, you have to consider that maybe you won't have resources regardless of your capping order because of aggressive cutoffs. And it gives you another objective to defend that can be away from those resources. Or the cutoffs can actually be, in this case, a victory point. And now the players have to consider, well, he's not only going to be getting cutoffs, but also bleeding me. So now I need to think about VPs more. And it changed in Company Heroes 1, it added another layer where you would get pop cap cut off. And Company Heroes 2 has the resource system, especially in Company Heroes 2, it's not worse, it's way worse in every way that you can describe. It's worse in every measurable way. So to try to accommodate that, the cutoffs here are, they're aggressive, and there's a lot of functionality that you get out of creating, as long as they're interesting and they're not unreasonable and they're not badly placed and there's not a stupid amount of objects around them, like in a bad configuration. You want cutoffs to be aggressive, in my mind. Crossroads is designed that way. Nexus is designed that way. AOD is designed that way. Crossroads Winter, as you know, is designed that way. And Ploesti Outskirts is designed that way. And it's when you're on a competitive level, you need to make the maps. You need to design the maps in a way that they have options, and aggressive cutoffs is part of that equation. A big part of that equation. And you don't want them to be too aggressive. You don't want, like, one point here, and if you grab it, it cuts the entire map off. Like these points are aggressive, but they also get 2 points here and here that are guaranteed income, essentially. Likewise in the south. So then the rest of the map becomes a playground for their options and their strategies to kind of blossom, because I don't know what they're going to do as a mapper. I can kind of push them in one or another direction based on what I think makes sense for the match, but one of my favorite parts about making maps is that I don't know what players are going to do. Like, let's take Nexus as a fantastic example. There was an issue with a building in the north where the building seemed a little bit OP, and I'm sitting here trying to think of a way to change it so that this northern building will actually... Oh, this is the old version. Where this northern building, maybe me, White Flash, will have to go in and change the design. I go, well, I need to change this building location, or maybe put a different building in, or change the cover layout, or change the line of sight blockers. But as it turns out, I didn't have to do anything, because this is the building in question. If you just get a squad right here, this building is moot. It actually, you can't attack units if the defender's in the building and the attacker gets a unit right here to the left of this. This building can't fire back. So you can just get a unit here and just kill the guys in here for free. Obviously they'll need to exit and then go from there, but that makes this building significantly weaker than it used to be. And the players discovered that. I didn't discover that. I didn't even intend for that as the mapper. But those are the kinds of things that makes... From a map design perspective, that's the best thing you can see, because that means like, one of the reasons StarCraft's so good is because there's a lot of these small pieces of knowledge that are scattered all throughout the game. And those same kinds of pieces of knowledge are scattered throughout the map. If you've gotten used to designing, you get good, stuff like this will happen on accident. I mean, I don't know if I can even take credit for that. It's the game. That's why Company Heroes is still good, is because there's still stuff like that to be discovered by the players. And, it's fantastic. So it's like, I don't know. I was just rambling for a bit there, but yeah. That's a long-winded explanation, but yeah, for sure, Crescent. No, and I appreciate the feedback, man. It's, nobody's the golden god on the hill here. It's just, we're all trying to make this better. Which is why I'm trying this new system for retreating. Oh, wouldn't that be sick? Okay. I almost think we should just try this point. The problem is this doesn't have impasse. It's very, very strange. You know what? Let's just try this. We're gonna just... What's the saying in engineering? A test is worth 1,000 expert opinions. That is, truer words have rarely been spoken. Save this. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta be careful here. I'm in X1. This might make another X1. Actually, this is not 1-0. We're not even close to done. Let's call it that. I think that's comfortable. Oops, I got the wrong one. What? Yeah, that's exactly right, Ross. That's a good example too. AOD had a building that was just not... It was perfect for what it was, like for its positioning and the number of windows, entrances, the look. It was perfect. Except it was giving me line of sight over a wall that it's not supposed to, and it was firing over a wall it wasn't supposed to. So I'm like, well, I got to get rid of this now, you know. It was a bummer, but it worked out in the end, and those are the kind of hard choices you got to make, especially when you spend like, you know, 80 hours getting it where you think it's perfect, and then you find out one of those beloved objects you put in there is just fucking the whole map up. You're like, well, all right, we got to shift gears here. We're booting up the map here, guys. Come on, computer.
Say that.
I wonder if it made another one. Doesn't look like it. That'll be hilarious if it overwrote the other one and I don't have to do anything. It might actually have. Standard. Oh, pass. I needed to change fixed positions. That's all right. This will give us what we need. Okay. Make sure these are set up correctly. That looks good. That looks good. Whoops. That's double covered. This could move up a scooch. That one looks roughly correct. Okay. Okay. Now. We gotta turn off the AI. We need to kill the AI. Let's kill these. And now let's put up a...
Ready? Let's go.
Okay, that really doesn't have any of this. Confirmed. Now let's put...
Moving to enemy territory. Pioneers, we are getting out of
Okay, tell them to retreat. Oh, it's glorious. See, this is what I'm talking about. So they'll retreat around. Now they'll end up right here. So if I have, you know, my healing bunker here, right there.
Pioneers
Now
reload.
these guys' worst case scenarios like up here.
Pioneers falling back.
Oh, they're still retreating through the center. Okay,
Jawohl, we are moving.
so they're not gonna reach there. See, this is a shit retreat path. This is like, you know, game changing, game ending. It's not good at all. I thought my little indicator thing here said otherwise. Oh, right, I can't do dual locations, of course. Okay. So this one we can confirm.
Pioneers here. On our honor, it will be ours. Okay, fall back
That's
to
like
base.
about as bad as it gets.
We must return to base. Rally at our base. That is unclear. Okay, we're going. Okay, fall back to base. You want? Und here we go.
I don't know about you guys, but I love the Jaeger Command Squad.
Heading to location.
It's so sick.
Jaeger, nothing like a retreat. We still have ammo left.
Okay, from there they'll go
Let's get
south.
moving.
Don't cut across. Go under. Yes! Yes, 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 yes.
Oh, retreat. But we still have ammo left.
Keep it up top, they're going to go under.
Walking
And
around.
they're going to end up.
When do we get to the shooting?
Oh, wow, they go home from there. Okay. Interesting. See, I can't select that, so I can't swap his player type. I win!
Victory is ours.
So the current setup, the left side, the right side works, the left side works if you're on the bottom. So we could move that bottom and then be all set. Let's get the southern player squared away, and then we'll do the northern player. How's that sound? Wonderful. Here's good. So that should be shorter now. That's gonna be a dick punch. Why is this different? What the fuck? One, two, three, 4.5. 1, 2. 1.5 over. 1.5 over. 4.5. Fuck, man, it's exactly the same. I don't understand this world builder sometimes. Guys, I'm gonna go feed my dogs real quick. Gonna leave you with the wonderful starting screen and some wonderful music. And I'm gonna be right back. Right back, gents. Ah, we're back. Okay. such a grind getting this to work. I've never done this before. This is a B. Okay, we know this is good. We're good here. In fact, where's my paper? Where's my notebook? There you are. Let's get some semblance of organization because this is relatively complicated. Okay, we have solved. This one is good. This one is not good. This one is not good. Okay, so we got 3 to fix. If X is good, we need C to go like this. Okay. So. One and a half. 1, 2, 3 and a half. 1, 2, half, 1 and a half. Okay, those are nutty locationally, but I should be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone here, which is to say we need to. So I need to basically take these victory points and move them somewhere. I should be able to fix both of them by moving them. Really like where they are right now, too. Urgh. And the fuels are equidistant, which is really nice, but can we change a terrain feature to force movement where we need it? Not really. Just gonna run if we change it that way. Edge of what's possible, and that sucks ass. I'm intruding so hard on this fuel. Cool magic guy. How you doing, buddy? Doing all right. Might be working tomorrow. Don't know yet. Falling for the wrong. We've all been there, brother. Don't worry about that one bit. The only thing you need to remember about ladies is this. This is very, very important. And that is, at the end of the day, you only actually need one. You don't need 16 or 30 or something. So don't worry about it. If you don't get one, there's a shitload of them out there. They're everywhere. Be a little careful here. Oh, Jesus. Took a chunk out of that one. Ricky! How you doing, buddy? Ladies and gentlemen, the man with the solution. Ricky, we're trying your... Or I should say we're trying out the this object that was so intuitive to find, right? Don't you love how fucking buried some of this stuff is, and it doesn't make any sense when you find it? You're like, wait, why is it in this folder? Yeah. There's never been an audit of like what goes where or what makes sense. I think that much is clear as day. Yeah, she's gonna pass more twisted than the Nile River, but she's really fun. I think it's best to just be friends. Well, I don't know. How old are you, cool magic guy, if you don't mind me asking? Why is it just under gameplay? That's exactly right, Ricky. That's the first place I went. I went straight to gameplay. I'm like, this object must exist because in the campaigns, they have like weird retreat places sometimes, right? So there has to be an object. I went under gameplay, tried a bunch of shit, nothing. I'm like, you know what? Maybe our wonderful world building community knows where this is. And you found it. So thank you very much for that. We are testing it out earlier in the stream. So I've got position here and here. Likewise here and here. Now, my problem is I need to set up a position so people understand what the fuck is going on, because this is going to be very strange to someone who's never played a map that has custom retreat points, because they don't exist so far. But if if the system works, this will be fantastic for retreat pathing. Cool magic guy, I'm 33, buddy. So don't you worry. I'm telling you, women are everywhere. They're everywhere. Holy shit, they're everywhere. Yes, this is a brand new map. Cobalt Twitch, how are we doing, buddy? Wait, what object am I using? I'm using the object that you located, bud. Retreat Point Actual MP. Yes, cool magic guy. This is a brand new map named Ploesti Outskirts. If you know your history, the Ploesti Outskirts the Ploesti oil fields were a very important oil producing area for the Axis during the war, and we are on the outskirts. As you can see in the distance, there are the tankers and the oil, the refineries going up. And if you guys want a if you haven't seen them yet, I did a map revealing event. If you haven't seen them yet, oh God, I did. You don't want to hear me twice. No. This map revealing event was a great success. You can check it out here. Von Ivan versus Brostress started about an hour or two. We had some technical shit happen early on because we're trying to make this work with a new map on a world builder. Yeah, check it out and enjoy it, man. This map has been very, very interesting so far. Do you always use taskbar on the side of your map? I always use the taskbar on that side of the desktop, yeah. At work, I do the same thing. A buddy of mine does it like that. Actually, Ross, if you're still in the chat, a buddy of mine from college does that. Mike, V Soapy V is his handle. And I kind of looked up, I'm like, that's interesting. And I turned it on, never turned back. But, yeah. You always use on. Good to find another side user. Attaboy. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, then now that we've done this, we can shift. I need to make damn sure we do this. This has to be done just right, or it ain't gonna work. Use these stairs as our object marker. Oh, this is exhausting, especially after a long day of work. Whoop. Still mixed feelings about Crossroads Winter. Yeah, man. If you've got, I was talking to somebody else earlier about Crossroads Winter. If you got feedback, bro, I'm all ears. There's no, you know, I'm not married to the design. The result is what matters. So if you've got some baller ass, you know, ideas or something I haven't thought of, I'm all about it. You know, and if it's something we can test, or if you have an insight that I haven't thought of, which is totally, you know, happens all the time, I'd love to hear it, man. Cobalt, if you want, and actually anybody, if you want another location to give feedback, this is the one that I frequent. Check out this link. That is the World Builder Discord, Cobalt. If you want, I check there often. I'm on kodo.org a bit, but much more frequently I'm using this Discord. So if you don't mind, that's the spot for. I know I don't want to like intrude on what Trick put up there for ladder, but because that's specifically for ladder, but that map, because it's so new, does have a Discord with some running information there, and that would be my location of choice. Thank you. Why Flash, can you explain what tool you use to see the retreat path? Sure, yeah. So up top, Ricky, there's all these tools, right? See the spline here? If you go 2 to the right of that, there's a ruler mode. Click that. there's a regenerate pathfinding data. You want to click that. And you can either pick object or terrain. I'm doing terrain in this case. And you left click a point on the map. And then you left click another point. And it gives you the straight distance and the pathfinding distance. Full disclosure, this tool is not 100% good. But it is a fair like indicator. Like if I click here and then I click on the middle of the base, this is the retreat path that a unit should take when coming back. So it's see, and you can see it thinks it's unreachable. So I'm gonna pick from here to where it did know it could reach. So that's 118 pathfinding. Now I click here to here, and it can do the rest of it for some reason. So 118, so that's 170, about 180 meters. Now I'm going to click this point and try my other retreat path, which is here. And this is the good retreat path I'm trying to achieve. 146 meters. So that means, good night, Ricky. Oh no, sorry, I thought you said good night. Good shit, yeah. So 146, that's less than 180. So if a unit retreats from this location, they should retreat to this point, not this point, thus making the retreat path on the outside of the map, thus success. Okay, that has been the whole point of that post earlier on. As you saw, we're trying to solve the retreat path conundrum, and if this can work on this map, this could potentially be used on every map, or any map that has retreat pathing issues. You simply have two different spots that you retreat to. Now, this causes one problem, one big problem, and that is if this distance is too far to reinforce, that's one, but the pizza bases will be okay. And also, if you have like a healing truck here, and your guys are here or here, they're not going to get that healing. Now, that reality of extra micro needing to be done in the base is not entirely foreign to Company of Heroes, because the Brits in Co. 1 had forward bases, and the Americans have forward or changed base locations in Co. 2. So there are situations where players need to re-micro retreated units in order to get reinforcement and healing. It's not the norm, so this is some experimental stuff that, you know, who the hell knows how it's going to work, but I'm willing to try something new here. I mean, you know, I don't know. I want to see what happens. These barrels are presumably filled with oil from those wonderful refiners in the distance, but I haven't actually seen this happen in game yet, but I know these barrels can be destroyed. I've done them myself, but I haven't seen them get destroyed in a real game. These barrels blow big when you shoot them, too. Likewise, these small ones also blow up, and they burn, you know, for a while once you're in game. I don't know if the small ones do, but I think the small ones do not, but the big ones do. They'll still be an impasse, so it'll still block tanks, you know, all that good stuff. Shit. Okay, so this one should be fixed. I have a piece of paper here that I am marking stuff and trying to make sure we get these to work. The one on the top right, I'm certain works. Yes, Cobalt, good question. So, these pipes, it's funny when Von Ivan and Brosraus were playing in that best of 5, you could see they were kind of like driving around these sometimes. And these can be destroyed not just by heavy tanks, but by Panzer IVs and the like. So, all these pipes should, by mid-game, basically, if you, the player, want to open the map up, that's totally within your power to just drive over all this shit, and mediums can make this way open. I actually wouldn't have these here if mediums couldn't open them up. But during testing early on, I discovered those are destroyable by mediums, and I'm like, okay, that means that these are weaker than hedgerows. That's fantastic. That's a tremendous asset to the map, thematically and functionally. So, went balls deep for that choice right there. Yeah. Do they provide cover? Or are they sight blockers? They are sight blockers. They don't provide any cover. So probably when I'm all done, I'm gonna put, like, here I have objects all around them. I'll do the same on all the pipes so that if you have cloaked units, you can utilize that those points. Whew. What's next? So good, pretty good. Now we need to solve this guy. Are they like walls you can't see? Yeah, they're well. No, they're like it's like see like so. Here's the line of sight, right? So you walk a unit up. It's basically a wall. Yeah, but it's pipes. And then when you come out here, you know, you can see around it. And then when they get destroyed, this will just open right up, no problem. Piece of cake. Now this one I think is good as well. So 187, 189, 198, 198. Okay, so these guys should be retreating properly. This left one should be good. It is untested. We will test it soon. And apparently I never finished this guy. Shit. Oh, God, I'm tired. Map seems small. It is. So, oh, interesting. Let's do that. Let's keep it spicy. It is pretty small here. I want to make a tighter map this run, and that's what I've decided to go with. Is I don't know. This is the size. You know, I don't know. Some yellow cover there. That's also a VIP, so I can dig it. Yeah, as you know, tighter is better. That's just a fact of life. I didn't make up that rule. That rule is like a law of gravity. Now, let's take a look at this guy. Terrain. Okay, this is gonna be the bitch one. Ah, damn it. 5. Breathe Fox! Thanks for the follow, sir, madam. Much appreciated. Oh, wait a minute. 161. I'm an idiot. For fuck's sake. 14. That one should work too. Cobalt Twitch, thank you for the follow, sir. Oh, it's cool to see how you make maps. Do you also play the game a lot? Yeah, I play enough to keep up with it. I played K-Pen the other day. We went 1-on-1. I know K-Pen's not a pro or anything, but I can, you know, I can hold my own in 1v1. And I play a lot of, or we did before the Tarkov patch out. I was playing a lot of 3v3s with a lot of the Reborn guys. So, yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to play anybody. I'll take any challenger. If Loveness came in right now, he's like, hey, let's 1v1, I'd do it right now. Hell yes. Trucks is still a noob. Yes, he is. Love him to death, but yes, he is still a noob. But he's, you know, he could learn the game if he took the time to. He just doesn't. I don't know. Yeah. Okay, guys. Let's see what we get. This is exciting, because if this works, we could be opening up a whole new chapter of sort of map design, really, because nobody's done this yet. Nobody's done it in a professional setting. No one's even tried it, as far as I know. So, could be breaking some new ground here.
Sega.
Hi, Sega. How you doing? You having a good day? All right. Let's see. We've solved one of the bottom ones, so let's go top. Just one. We're good. There. Let's go. Yeah, I know. Ricky, it's funny. Like I was saying, I went into that's the first place I went, and I didn't see it, and I'm like, there has to be something. Mostly because if you've played the campaign, they have strange retreat locations. So I'm like, they're either coding that in, which seems like madness, or they have an object. And you know how many. I mean, if you played with World Builder for any amount of time, you know how many objects there are, and it's to sift through all of them and then jump in the World Builder and test them is maddening. I don't know how you found that and, you know, went into that folder of all places, but, you know, it worked, so you can't argue with that. It was a gift from the co-gods, that's what it was. Okay, moment of truth. Fuck. Okay. They're still bombing through the center. Where you going, boys? Where you going? Go left! No! Shit. Alright. Okay. They're going left. Man, it's on just a hair. It's like a hair split. No, go left, of course. Wow. I guess I'm going to use these chairs now as object identifiers. So it's like right down the middle. Okay. Did you know you can move all the movies when starting up the game? It saves a lot of time when you start the game multiple times a day. It makes the game lag less too, since I'm also playing the game in window full screen. Really? I guess I heard about that ages ago. I just guess I never did it. That is tight. Tyro could learn from this. Okay, so we failed on one front. Let's see where this unit ends up. Yeah, I probably should do that, I guess. Like, you talking like that Sega boot up screen, right? Okay, that's like the top. Figures. XCOM, how you doing, buddy? It's been far too long. Okay, now let's try in the north. Or the south, rather. Merry Christmas, X. Sorry to hear about the Brexit fiasco. Hope everything works out for the UK. Sounds like you guys might get split. You might have some more people split off. Orange Pass, what's going down, buddy? I know, isn't Matt making just a very engaging thing to watch? Watch me just dick with this over and over until it's correct for all the games that are going to be played on it. So it's a good thing. I hope you're right, buddy. Map making is fun. Map making is very design heavy, which I absolutely adore, so that's why we're still here. Yeah, you got big Christmas plans, buddy? You gonna come over to American Rage? That man can be fun to watch when the streamer answers questions. Like, yeah, I'll answer questions. I'm not gonna say whether or not they're all right, but I'll answer them. All right. Now, let's try the South. I kill you. You know what? First spite. Haha! Ricky, why are the factories not visible in the loading screen? Ricky, they will be. That's a great question. The old screenshots, like over here, roughly looking at the sky. I changed the sky. Or wait, did I change it? No, I rotated the sky. So there will be a new loading screenshot at some point. Trucks will, you know, fix this for me. Probably from here, I suppose. Or maybe the left side. I don't know. It'll be from over here. And yeah, you'll be able to see, you know, we'll have White Flash Reborn tagged on this. And then you'll be able to see the refineries in the distance there. Be really sick. Oh, shit, man. Hope your wrist gets better there, Orange. Yeah, Trucks, he did this tac map. One of the things that we noticed from Co 1 is, so Trucks played more Co 1 than 2. The buildings are actually embossed in Co 1, not in Co 2 for some reason, and I think it looks better, and he agreed, you know, he thought of doing it like that. I kind of agreed. I think it looks better, and that's not on any of the Co 2 maps either, is this embossing of the buildings, which I think really should be. These pluses, this plus shit, is a crime that is on the TAC map. These fucking resource indicators should not be there at all. So, I don't know. But yeah, it looks good. Trucks has been doing good work. Oh, I wanted to test something over here. I forgot. I actually brought this out. This should be an object on the map. I wanted to see if this thing can be... We're going to tangent a little bit from cutoff testing. Oh, yeah! The big boys are out! Because it was an out of bounds object. Fuck, hang on. All right, let's do this. Ooh, now it does work because they're inbounds. I knew it. So, like, rounds were just going through these. Did you see the new Boeing capsule launch today? Yes, XCOM, I did. I saw the Boeing launch fucking fail. Fucking Boeing. Fucking embarrassing. Oh! Yes, yes! Yes, 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 yes! Alright, that's pretty sick. So these objects, the ones that are out of bounds, see this line right here? These ones won't blow up. And these were just out of bounds here, so I changed this line to be a little bit further out. You can see right here, it curves in. So these are considered inbound objects. Boom! So if we ever see like a stray arty shot come over there and blow that up, that'll just be badass. And while we're having fun, these ones are very explodable. Well, at least it wasn't an unplanned rapid disassembly. It's just as bad, if you ask me. Like, we know the Atlas V works. That's not surprising. We know the upper stage works. That's not surprising. That's not what the test was for. The test was for the capsule. Boom! Those go up. This is the smaller one. It's embarrassing, frankly. Not impressed with Boeing right now. So all these oil tankers are destructible. They burn. They look sick, you know. So. Bug splats. That's so sick. Dude, I love it. I absolutely love it. Ugh. Speaking of tac maps, there's the man, the myth, the legend. Tac map done by Trucks. And we'll do loading screenshot. Alright, what the fuck was I doing? Oh yeah, retreat paths. Let's get on retreat paths here. What are you doing in this game? Space is hard. I love that excuse. That's the greatest excuse, the made-up excuse ever. Space is hard. I don't. That answer sucks dicks. All right. We just space every day, all day. Those fucking assholes have had like 8 goddamn years to make that thing work. It's embarrassing. Well, we went from not having any rockets. We went from not having a rocket that wouldn't kill someone for being launched to landing on the fucking moon in like 8 years. They can't even make a single capsule work. It's ridiculous. Like it's really goddamn sad. Not happy with that. But, you know, it's not my company going under the bridge. All right, excellent. We got a good... Excellent retreat paths. Excellent. Going into the south here. Yeah, fucking... I can't... I could be the new captain of the ship. Collide in the Caribbean. I don't give a shit about that. We got a good retreat pass from the VIP on there, guys. That's good. One more down. Sorry, this is the southern base. That is northern X. Okay, so we just need to fix the northern base's southern cutoff points, and we can actually try a game out. Hang on, we've got some guys that's gonna play around. Alright, let's try one more set of tests here. Actually, I think that's about good. Okay, guys. I am going to Vamanos. I'm going to head out, but if you guys want to see more mapping and, you know, dicking around doing all this, you know where the follow button is. You know the drill. Thank you for watching and supporting this mapping work. And again, if you guys want to contribute more to the mapping scene, here's a link. That link goes to the mapping Discord. There's a lot of work being done in there by guys. A lot. If you need help, it's there. If you want to help test, it's there. So everybody, you know, appreciates the help and the time you guys take testing and all that. So, you know, we will catch you guys next time. And thanks you very much for watching and supporting the mapping scene. Godspeed.